Time now for Better Food. Did you know that today is National Time now for Better Food. Did you know that today is National Homemade Soup Day?
Yeah, so instead of heating up a can of soup, Laura Grimmer from The Perfect Pair is going to be showing us how to make a soup. You can actually do this at home?
Very quickly and honestly, very easily. I know I say that all the time and you guys make fun of me, but
All
no,
right.
really, really quickly and easily.
But soup, I mean, you really don't have to have many skills to do it. And nowadays, so many of the vegetables come chopped. You've got some, we're going to be using some frozen. You can clean out your fridge and your freezer.
Clean out your fridge, clean out your freezer. Yep. So what I start with is a mix of carrot, celery, and onion.
Okay.
As Kara said, that's a mirepoix. We were talking about that earlier. The one key thing with soup is that you do want all your ingredients to be roughly the same size.
Okay.
Because the same size items will cook consistently and cook at the same time. So you're not having
Good
things
point.
that are cooked at different speeds and everything like that.
Okay.
So we're just going to throw those in.
So don't throw like a bunch of big chopped sweet potatoes in there because then it's not going to work.
Yeah, that won't cook. Everything will get mushy by the time you're done with that. So you throw that in, a little bit of olive oil, and you just saute it until it's soft. Then I'm going to throw in a clove of sliced garlic. I like sliced because it's mellow when you start cooking it. You're only going to cook that for about a minute. I'm going to speed things up a little bit here. So now I have a can of diced tomatoes that I'm going to throw in.
That's
Easy.
simple. Okay.
Diced tomatoes. You can open a can of tomatoes.
So far,
right?
I'm down with this.
You could buy, a lot of times, like you said, you made a good point that these, the mirepoix are already chopped and fresh in most supermarkets. You could just buy the container of it already done, dump it in.
Yep.
And now you've got canned tomatoes. That's also easy.
Throwing canned tomatoes in. I had corn that I froze over the summer, so I'm just throwing in frozen corn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I've got some frozen edamame beans. I love these, and so I happen to have those in. Those are soybeans, frozen soybeans. I've got frozen green beans that I'm also throwing in because I want to get all of my veggies as much as I can. And then I've got a can of cannellini beans.
Okay.
So easy. Cans is
But
what
you
we're
said, Laura,
opening.
you know, whatever's in the fridge.
Yeah.
If you don't have, you know, an edamame bean, you can use a lima bean.
Yeah, whatever you've got in the freezer or the fridge or absolutely
leftover
anything.
bags, and you're like, what am I doing with this small portion?
You always have like a portion left.
Yeah,
It's like throw it in the soup. This is dried thyme, which I love to use. This is my secret ingredient. This is peperoncino, so red pepper flake. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that. You notice there's no fat, there's no animal fat in here. This is completely vegetarian.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to top it, not even going to use stock. I'm topping it with a little bit of water.
Isn't that interesting?
And I'm just going to put it almost to cover, but just enough to give me a little bit of movement. I like a chunky soup. If you like it thinner, guess what? Add more water.
Add more water.
Okay.
But really, just water, no stock. How come?
No stock. Part of it is because I'm trying really, let's cut the meat out of our diet where we can. This is a great way to do it because you've got this wonderful flavor. You don't need the meat for flavor.
Okay.
So it's really not a soup I can take stock in.
So this is what it's going to look like at the end. Right before I'm ready to
my
serve
goodness
it,
gracious.
I throw in some torn kale.
Okay.
You could do lots of different kinds of hearty greens. Spinach doesn't really work. It gets a little slimy. So you're going to want like some escarole or the kale works
thank you.
great, something like that. So I've just got a little bit of soup.
And I noticed
for
there's some
you.
cheese over here.
Oh, yeah, you got me on the cheese. So again, what separates us from the beast is our ability to not accessorize, as they said in Steel Magnolias, but I think it's the ability to garnish.
Garnish.
And
Okay.
so I'm a huge fan of just a little bit of
Is that Parmigiano Reggiano?
Parmigiano Reggiano in the cheese in the
You
soup
do a
there to
slice instead
finish.
of grated.
I do. I like this. Oops. Whoop. I like the slice
Yeah.
because I like the way it kind of then gets all melty in my bowl.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, no stock at all, just water.
Just water. I'm going to add some salt and pepper as it comes to a boil and it starts to really cook. And then you can let it just keep going. It doesn't have to, it can go as long as you want. You know, eventually your vegetables are going to get a little bit mushy. I do like to put the greens in at the end though, because I like them to stay bright green. You can see we've still got really bright green color.
It's delicious. And so if you're going to make this because you wanted to have it for lunch for the week, make a big quantity. Don't add the greens until like each day.
That's
add
what
it.
I would do.
Heat it
But-
up and just let it wilt a little.
Something else you could do is buy frozen kale. And then just when you reheat it, throw a handful of frozen kale
And
in
it'll
there.
just, yeah.
Yep.
That
This
is
is
wonderful.
delicious.
Isn't that great?
And
All right,
it's
so
kinda
from
like-
start to finish, what do you think? An hour?
Well, even if you're chopping everything yourself, even a half an hour.
Half an hour.
Yep.
And then cook time.
Eat a half an hour.
That's it.
I mean, I cook my first 3, my carrots, my onions, and my celery, and I get those going immediately while I'm then cutting up everything else and unopening my cans and going through my
And
freezer.
it's so healthy. You know, we think sometimes you just want something warm in the winter, so we are going to those heavy comfort foods.
Right.
But here you're getting a comfort food, but all the veggies that we really need.
And very little fat. If you want to add some fat, you could saute up a little bit of prosciutto and then take it out and then finish the vegetables, and then that's another delicious
Well, I like
garnish.
though it's a vegetarian meal, so it's delicious. All right,
Yeah.
thanks, Laura. You're going to find beautiful kitchen and barwares at the Perfect Pair. You can visit the shop in person on Main Street in Chester, and I highly encourage checking it out because it's a beautiful shop.
And she's very charitable, so thank you for donating to a nice charity event this weekend. We appreciate all that Laura does. She teaches cooking classes. There's more information about those online at perfectpairct.com. Delish.